You have often said that energy is a non-negotiable.
It's very much like habit stacking.
Really simple framework, and I think everybody can use it. It's called...
So hello and welcome to Burnout, Business and Body, the podcast that inspires you to take care of yourself and your life in 3 powerful ways.
Hi, I'm Nicole, your stress management and health recovery coach. I'm here to help you slow down, reconnect, and rediscover the peace that lives beneath the pressure.
I'm Belinda, your business leadership and team coach, here to show you how to grow a business that supports your life and your team, that builds cohesion and leads to greater connections and healthy profit.
And I'm Sabina, your performance and leadership coach. I teach you simple strategies and tools to optimize your performance and energy from the inside out to build a bigger and stronger business.
And together we'll explore how burnout, business and body all connect and how small shifts in each can create big changes in your energy, your work and your life. Well, hi girls. We've got a great feature topic today with Sabina.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's a really good one. A really good one.
And I think we all, I'm hoping that all our listeners will find something, no matter where they are in their energy, that they'll find something that they can take away and put in their, either in their business life or their work life or their, even just sort of like at home, because it's something that I think is really important. Energy is the number one commodity. So let's get started.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yay. So on that then, I have a question for you. You have often said that energy is a non-negotiable for success in business. So then why do you see energy as the business strategy rather than the wellness add-on?
Great question. So let me ask our listeners, and we'll ask ourselves the same, right? Is, what is it that drives energy? Drives our business, sorry. And when we think about it, it's energy. It's decisions, it's execution, it's moving forward, taking action. And we look at all those, we build strategies about, sales and things like that, but we don't actually look at the driver. And if the driver, the leader or the team doesn't have the energy to, to think clearly, to make those decisions, to execute, then no matter how many of these frameworks that we have, we're missing the point. The driver needs to have the energy in order to do, the strategy that is going to get moved forward. So in my mind, I think energy underpins everything: productivity, leadership, performance, results, profitability. Profitability, I know Belinda talking about like teams and things. If a team member is not able to be productive, then that has a negative effect on the balance sheet, right? So it's looking at energy as an investment in business, a critical investment in business. And I think there's so many businesses I see that they don't see energy as that investment. They don't see it as the commodity. We look at money and we manage our money, right? But we don't manage the energy. So I think there's something that it's just something that is neglected in so many different areas and so many different businesses, from massive governments to not protecting our energy. So I think that's why I see it as it's the foundation of productivity, efficiency, performance in a business. And that would be does that answer the question?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
I think, like, I could talk about this forever and I will try not to, but I think if you can see, if, for example, a business, right, and, if you visualize a business and it doesn't have any energy in it, right, you can, it's very clear that the business is not going to take off.
Yeah.
Right. So if you have a business and it's only functioning on 50% energy, which a lot of businesses are because they're only not really investing in their energy of the people, then your business is not thriving as much as what it could. So
Yeah. No, it's your turn. It's your time to shine. I just picked up on something that you said about the balance sheet. And I thought, maybe I could think of an analogy differently. So the balance sheet, whilst we think about that financially, isn't there a balance score? Are we scoring our energy in a different way? So if we're not balancing, then we're not making money. So that energy balance potentially at work, if we're not managing that with our team, then we're not going to get the biggest performance out of them, and therefore profitability won't be around. And I can liken this to a recent client. They've increased 50 people in their business. And so normally you'd have to put someone else on to increase, 50 clients, I should say. They've increased 50 clients in their business and haven't had to put anybody else on because they've been taking care of their team, really, really focused on the staff. And so the team are taking on the right amount of work because they're supported.
Yeah.
And they've been supported to have regular breaks and be able to re-energize and take the time to do the jobs that they like. And the leader's actually taken some jobs off them that they didn't like so much and shifted around the task. We've done like a task audit for the team, shifted all the tasks so that they have been doing different things. So you might find that one of the team members likes something more, and so they're giving them some other jobs. So it's not depleting their energy because they're liking doing that task. And so I think we could refer to the balance sheet of balancing, your focus on energy is it's going to then directly end up on the balance sheet of the profit.
100%. And, like you said, is when people enjoy doing certain tasks, they're energized by those tasks.
Yeah.
And using that, but it starts the conversation, actually finding out what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and managing their energy so that they can just like we manage our money, we put it in a bank, we make sure it accrues interest, we look after it, but we need to start looking after our energy the same. And I think there's a missed opportunity for a lot of business owners, business leaders, in just not managing the energy of their teams and themselves. So a great analogy. I love that.
And look, I mean, that then filters into our personal lives anyway. If we don't, energy is the main currency. Let's be real. It's not the dollar one. Because if we don't have the energy to get up each day and do what we need to do, or be the mum we want to be, or the colleague, the worker, the friend, the wife, the partner, whatever role we're playing, that is the energy. And being around people, other different people, where it can actually suck the energy out of you and you're depleting. If you haven't got that space to be able to go and recharge, then you just get depleted. So,
and when their energy is or the teams have got some way of navigating their energy, maybe it's a training course helping people actually just to manage their energy on a day-to-day basis. Their productivity increases, their decision making increases, their cognition increases, they get things done in more time, they're more loyal, they're higher retention, you don't have to spend money on recruitment. There's so many benefits to this, but there's nobody doing it. There's nobody empowering the people, empowering their teams how to manage their energy, and it's just a missed opportunity in my opinion.
Well, it leads me into a question. What is the biggest misconception people have about energy, Sabina?
Yeah, I've definitely been there as well. I think at some time that, but I think we think that energy is this source that either we have it or we don't. It's a given. Oh, I don't have the energy to go to the gym. I don't have the energy to make those phone calls. I don't have the energy. And the reality is, it's not about just having the energy. It's about accessing it, like with a key, and actually being strategic about it. It's like anything. Money. Let's go for money, right? Money is not something that just happens to come around. I wish
No.
it did, but it doesn't, right?
Yeah.
We have to actually be strategic and intentional and really deliberate about how we go and earn it, right? And energy is exactly the same. You have to do the stuff to actually get your energy. So optimal energy, it's a really simple equation. Do the things that you need to do to optimize your energy. Energy's there. But I think it's not something that either you have or you don't. It's something that you actually work for. It's something that you actually go and get.
Yeah, right.
And most people I hear say, oh, well, I don't have the energy. And it's not about having the energy. The energy is there, but you have to get off your ass and go get it and be strategic.
Yep.
Well, if I could remember what I saw you post today, you were in the gym and you were talking about that exactly that is. I was just watching you in the gym, and I know you were saying to people, you get to create this. And just correct me if I'm wrong. You said the gym. Why aren't we using the gym as a tool, as like a business tool?
Yeah, and that's I call it. I mean, when I work with people, we build a performance toolkit, right? One of the most immediate things you can do, everyone can do, is exercise. I mean, it doesn't have to be the gym. I think the gym's a great place to start, but not everyone's in that, and that's fine. Even if it's just about getting your heart rate a little bit higher, increasing your hormone levels, getting more oxygen to your brain, more nutrients to your brain, you're delivering better ingredients so that you can start to do the work, in a better. So I think an increased performance. So yes, so a performance tool is simple performance tool that we don't utilize enough. I think it's something that you can be really strategic about it. 15 minutes workout, that's all you need. You just need 15 minutes every day, and I can guarantee you can increase your energy. You do it at the right time, you get even more energy. So it's about being strategic, deliberate, and working with your body. Yeah.
So what is the right time?
It depends on the goal. So if, for example, you are, and it depends if you're a man or a woman, but let's say, so if you're a woman, for example, and a man actually in this case, but if you're wanting to lose fat, then the morning is the best time for you to work out. It increases your metabolism, it primes your mind and your body. And specifically if you do interval training, that's something that can really set your energy, your furnace, your internal furnace on fire. If you're wanting to build muscle, then you'll find out that you'll discover it's much easier to build that muscle if you do it toward the end of the day. So sort of maybe a lunchtime workout, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, when the stores are a little bit fuller for your fuel. So just being strategic. If be strategic, you can do it in the first half hour of when you wake up. That's even more critical. It's basically kickstarts your metabolism. So it's learning where you can get the biggest wins with the least work. I mean, I love being lazy, so I love shortcuts. I mean, life's too. So I think just get a bit of knowledge around it, and then just use it like that as a performance tool.
Awesome. And so you actually work with high performing professionals. What is the framework that you teach them to take control of their energy?
Yeah, it's a really simple, probably really, really simple framework, and I think everybody can use it. It's called POS. So basically, it's actually like POS. You know, POS is point of sale. I see it as the same.
Yes.
Right, and you use that to symbolize it, but basically, it's protect, optimize, and systemize. And you do this particularly around energy. Protect your energy. You have some energy already when you wake up in the morning, protect it. And then the energy that you do have, optimize it. Make sure that you're eating the right foods on the right time. You are eating in the right environment. Environment's really important. Optimize it. Even if it's just by 1%, you will see a 1% increase in your result. And then systemize it. automated habits are just automations that our brain learns. So just systemize it. Every morning, do exactly the same, eat exactly the same breakfast, and then once you've got into that routine of, you're doing 15 minutes exercise, you are eating protein in the morning, you're drinking lemon and water, maybe you're having an electrolyte drink. After, it could be a couple of weeks, it could be 21 days, but then it becomes so embedded into you. It's something that you can't not do.
Yeah.
And I think that is gold, because then you don't have to think about it. There is no, what I call, decision fatigue. There's no decision fatigue. You get up in the morning, you know exactly where you're going. And when you save time on thinking about the most mundane things in our day, we free up that energy to focus on things that are a little bit more of a challenge for us. So it's using that energy and managing the energy in a more intelligent way, so that we can go forward at a faster pace.
That's so good. It reminds me of something, if you excuse me 1 second, of one of my favourite books, Atomic Habits. And so it sounds like POS is very much like habit stacking, and continually having one good habit, then the next habit. And as we layer them, we actually get more done, and one thing's done, and then the next thing, and then the next thing. So it kind of ties into put first things first, right? So start off with protect your energy. I love it. I'm making lots of notes today.
I think it is we allow our environment often to impede our energy, or to, I don't know if that's the right word, but and we need to take charge, because the environment's getting busier and busier, and if we haven't got a system, and this is what I say, the protect, optimize, systemize is a simple system. A simple system that you basically just keep doing and doing every single day, and it's just a system, a really simple system. And once you systemize something, you forget about it. You just forget about it. And then you're freeing so much time. It makes your life so much easier. You don't have to make decisions that are not important. You can change it to achieve the new goals.
And in Sabina, in your blueprint, is this part of your blueprint, your program?
Yeah, so I do. It's basically around stress management and energy management is the blueprint, and working with your biology and neurology. And we teach that. So we teach about how to protect your energy and optimize it, and then systemize it. So it's a lot about routines. We use routines as a superpower. They are a shortcut. So use them to your advantage. And I say this to everybody, use what you have to your advantage. Low hanging fruit, as they say in the business world, right? It's really, really easy. So just think of routines as easy systems that you can just sort of tap into and use them. So just use them for your success.
Can I just ask Nicole a quick question around that? So energy in terms of stress. So if we're following the performance toolkit, protect, optimize, and systemize, how is that going to help us with stress?
It's imperative, because the moment you're starting to feel like your energy's leaking, stress will just leak it. The people you're around, the work environment you're around. So it's really important for business owners out there to make sure that they're creating this amazing environment for people to feel safe enough to get the most out of your staff, because they'll want to do a great job for you. But if you've got a great environment for them to excel in, then, it's a no-brainer. And then they're not going home to their family and being so drained that they've got nothing else to give. So it's really absolutely imperative that the energy, people should see it as their currency. You know, is this task I'm about to do going to fuel or take away from my energy? You know, is this person someone who gives me, like, do I maintain my energy? Do I actually get more, or am I actually feeling very drained? It, you know, even down to, you know, doom scrolling. People think it's a real shut off thing that let's get into it. I mean, we all do it, right? Let's be real. But I don't know if anyone really notices just how exhausting it is, because you're taking so much out of it. Like the podcasts that you listen to, the things you watch on TV, the books you're reading, every moment that you're putting into your life, is it filling you up or is it draining you?
I liken that to, because I actually don't do doom scrolling, believe it or not, simply because I can't. I have to stop protect myself.
Yeah.
And what was the point of me saying this? But I think of it as junk food.
Yeah.
You know, like it's junk food, lots of trans fats and lots of, you know, lab made preservatives. And that's what I see a lot of media around, like even the notifications that come up that really you don't need to have.
Yes.
Think of it as food. It's food for your brain, and it really is. That, like you said, because it's killing your performance.
Yeah. And you don't notice it. Like people and the kids, until it's too late. But it's everywhere and in all areas of our lives, you know, this energy thing. So it's not, money ain't the currency, it is your energy that's the currency. And it's really important of the more you value yourself, the more you're valuing your energy. So where do I want to spend it? How do I want to spend it? Yeah. You know, you have the control over that.
You can take charge, but a lot of people I see is that they give their energy and they don't put enough value on it.
Yes.
They give their energy to, you know, people that are not people, tasks, things, TV programs, you know, social media accounts that are not of any value. They're not giving back.
No. Well, haven't you heard that people say, oh, that's 2 hours I'll never get back in my life again after a disappointing something, you know? And so it's true. It's really being quite conscious, because the less negative stuff you're letting in, or draining, let's put energy draining stuff there in, the less stress you're going to be. Like your baseline isn't going to be up here. It's going to be quite nice and relaxed. So you'll get the best out of your life personally, emotionally, and through business, working, whatever your role is.
I love something that's come out of today is money ain't the currency. I certainly love hearing about that sort of doom scrolling or doing the things that aren't going to do well for us and they'll deplete us. It reminds me of something I'd heard a guy who was being interviewed about Steve Jobs, and they were talking about why he was so particularly good in industry, and it was this signal to noise ratio, and that he's 80% signal, 20% noise. So the doom scrolling is the noise. Am I working towards a goal of mine? Signal.
Yeah.
Am I not working towards a goal of mine? Noise. Everything else is noise.
And I think just break every time you do, you find one, start being mindful, but then two, when you find yourself doing those things, ask yourself, is this draining my energy or is it fueling my energy? It's a really, even 100%. Just put it on a Post-it note and put it on the fridge, put it on put it in your living room. It's great for your kids as well to see if you have it in your office. Is it fueling you or is it draining you? And it's just having that awareness helps. Yeah.
Fueling or draining. So if someone listening to this episode, they want to take more control now, immediately, what's the first thing that they should do?
So I think, Nicole says it the same, and I'm sure you talk about it a lot too, Belinda, is an energy audit. So what I've done this year is I do it every year, but this year I'm sticking to it, is I actually have a planner with everything written down in hour slots, and I write down, I'm doing a timesheet. So I write down what I'm doing, and if it's not growing my business, if it's not growing my energy, it's not worth it. It goes.
It's noise.
It's noise.
Be harsh. It's you. So an energy audit, look at your habits and routines. If you have a morning routine, is a great place to start. So looking at your morning routine, is it fueling your body or fueling your energy, or is it pulling it back? And I'd say 70%, I think that's probably quite conservative, of morning routines are actually draining people.
Yeah.
Because they're not deliberate, and they don't understand that when you're in the morning, you're priming your body to what it's going to be like. So if you're most people are priming their body to stress.
Yes.
Instead, prime it to energize, prime it to performance, prime it to action. So an energy audit, looking at your habits, behaviors, even how you think, the thinking patterns. We discussed this a lot, but look at notifications, distractions, the clutter around your room, around your house. What's taking your energy? And then start making a list. Make a list, and then just start something really, really small. It could be that cabinet that is draining your energy. Every time you open it, something falls out. And just make that. It could be really something really simple.
It's true, because they do say that the state of your surroundings is like the state of your mind.
100%. Yeah.
So when you've got everything kind of orderly, then you're kind of feeling very balanced inside. Balanced outside will be balanced inside. To it. Yeah, so that's really great.
But I have a morning routine. It's in the show notes, and it's free to download. But it's just a really simple thing to download, and print it out, stick it on your fridge, and just start there. It's something that's really, really simple that anyone can do, and it takes a very small investment of time, and just see how you feel in 30 days time of doing that. You'll feel like a different person.
Yeah.
So good. Thank you. Top topic today, I say.
Yes.
So thank you so much, ladies.
Powerful.
Very powerful. So our vision with this podcast is simple. Burnout, business and body aren't separate. They're connected. When you take care of all three, you don't just survive life, you thrive in it. We're here to motivate, educate and encourage you to take care of what really matters, which is you. And if you'd like to know more, please follow, like and share. We can work with you individually or as a team to help improve burnout, business and body. See you, girls.
Thank you.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.